welcome to a brand new episode of Look Forward. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Brad.
What's up?
Nothing much. So we are back. What am I saying? Nothing much. There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of things happening right now, actually.
So first off, just to quell any sort of confusion or bitching and complaining, the background is all blue now.
I don't know who did complain about this.
I don't want to be conservative on this show. Make me blue. So everybody's liberal, guys. We'll put all roses in the background if you want next week to make you feel good. No, just so people don't think like, yes, it's called Look Forward. Yes, it's the blue versus red, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. But no. Neither one of us is actually conservative.
Shouldn't I actually have a wreath of roses around my profile window? Perhaps a crown sitting at the top?
You know what? Don't make me do it. Don't tempt me. I will fucking add that shit. But yeah, so we're back. So let's jump right into it. By the way, people who are watching on YouTube, if it was not clear last week, the show ends after an hour or so because we have an extra hour. I think last week was actually only 40 minutes, but we have an extra hour for premium members. So if you sign up, if you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium, you can sign up. It's $5 a month or $50 for the full year. You get the entire show every week. Okay.
And a lot more.
There's a bunch of premium shows. You'll hear more about that at the end of this episode. In the audio version, at least. So, okay, let's jump right into it. January 6th, insurrectionists say that they participated in planning meetings with members of Congress and White House staff. Yowzer. Okay, so this is a big story that the Rolling Stone broke this week. However, you have to pay for Rolling Stone for this particular article, so that's not the one that's linked on the article or on the docket. Because I'm not paying for Rolling Stone. Though I think they have great articles. So the article I did find, though, which largely talks about it, is from Variety. And basically, it is a pretty bombshell report, according to Variety, that Representative Paul Gosar, a.k.a. a guy who all of his family hates openly, even told some of these insurrectionists who they met with that there would be, quote, blanket pardons, which is
for unrelated crimes, by the way, which is hilarious, which, then automatically suggests the question that obviously he at least was coordinating with the president, because obviously Paul Gosar doesn't have the ability to issue pardons to anybody for federal crimes. By the way, move to refer to Paul Gosar as Gosar the Gosarian from now on.
Yeah, that's fine. That feels fair to me. That's how he's referred to at Thanksgiving, I'm sure. If he's even allowed. There's no way they have Thanksgiving dinner, right? Like him and his siblings? There's no way.
I don't think after all of his other siblings literally ran campaign ads for his opponent trashing him that
multiple times.
That there's a lot of hugs and kisses at Christmas time, Thanksgiving.
I love that they're like, our brother is a piece of shit. Don't vote for that guy. It's like, wow. And people are like, no, I'm gonna still vote for him. Really? The guy's own family thinks he's an asshole.
Like his five siblings are like this guy sucks. Like he's our brother, and like we're telling you, like, do not vote for this man. Like he's fucking terrible.
I don't know that there is a better bit of information to tell me not to vote for someone than someone's own direct family members being like, this guy fucking sucks.
Here's my question.
Okay.
If he's such a piece of shit as a congressperson that his family's willing to drop the dime on him on campaign ads for his opponent, what did he do to them?
How terrible of a brother is he? Good lord!
What skeletons are in that closet? That are we gonna find that he'd embezzled money from his fucking siblings, or that he let their mom die on his cancer bed or something? I don't know, something crazy.
He's like, I just rub hydrochloroquine on it, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. That's what Trump's gonna do. She has bone cancer.
Who else was involved in this? My girl Lauren Boebert was was involved here. Jay's favorite congressperson, Louis Gohmert, named in here.
Of course.
Of course,
Andy Biggs.
Tad Cadworth. Mo
Of
Brooks.
course. Andy Tad, our boy Tad Cadworth, clearing trees by hand. God, that guy sucks. He's a fucking Nazi. Yes, we know his name is Madison Cawthorn. We just like to make fun of him because he looks like a tad. And then Mo Brooks, Mr. It was a peaceful day. Everything was fine. That's why I wore a bulletproof vest.
Dude, did you see what Mo Brooks did?
Yes.
By the way,
yeah.
in the wake of the story.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I didn't plan the insurrection. Maybe some of my staff did. What the fuck? Dude, can you imagine if you work for that guy? You're like, what? Dude, what the you sent me, you asshole.
Like, tell me that the bus is coming before it fucking hits me. Jesus
Dude,
Christ.
What a move, man. What a move to be like, that's not really my problem. Come on.
But again, this is the guy that, as you said, literally wore body armor underneath his fucking Oxford shirt to the speech. Like, come on. What are you doing? But
then he went and said that, it was a peaceful day. Like, then why are you wearing body armor, dog? Like, one, also, it was not a peaceful day. We have footage. Our eyes do, in fact, work. But yeah, so, I mean, okay. What is the percentage chance that this story is completely true?
Completely true? I mean,
yeah, that they worked with Boebert and Brooks and Cawthorn and Biggs and Louis Gohmert and their staff. And it mentions White House Chief of Staff fucking Mark Meadows as well.
I don't think that it's going to be like, hey, here's a fucking blueprint of the Capitol building so you can plan, your best point of egress. But
right.
Like, I don't think we're going to get anything like that. But absolutely, like they helped plan this rally with a lot of people that were entirely pissed off, and the end result of that was what we saw on right. January 6th. Like there's not just because I don't know. It's kind of like throwing a fucking match into a tinder box and be like, I'm shocked that it exploded. Like I can't believe that thing caught on fire.
Who could have known?
Who could have predicted it?
Yeah, me. Us. we could have predicted it. Yeah, I'm thoroughly amazed that we are now at a point where the Jan 6 protesters are like, I think it's time to start ratting people out because they don't want to go to jail.
Well, what have they got to lose? Like they're the ones that are fucking holding the bag right now for this.
Yeah.
Like which again, like as these Congress people, if you're not willing to go down with the ship, then you have to know that you're going to get fucking dimed out because again, the entire criminal justice system is based on can you net me a bigger fish, like especially on the federal level, like that's literally what it's all about. So if you're not willing to ride it out with them, why are you even getting involved? Because these people aren't good, like unless you have this like bizarre thought process, like these people are going to be devoutly loyal to you. They're not loyal to you. They're loyal to Donald Trump. And even then, like we're starting to see some of that shit waver as well.
Right. That's tangential at best. The second people's ass are really on the line, right? These people, ride or die for Donald Trump forever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, you're going to spend 30 years in jail. He told me to do it. I mean, look, we've seen multiple reports from these rioters being on trial saying, well, Donald Trump told us to go to the Capitol. He said he was coming right behind us. Like, we thought we had his support. Like, that's not really an argument, but I understand their argument because they thought that this guy was going to bail him out. He was going to be there. He was going to be leading the charge into the Capitol so they would be fine. But when the shit hit the fan and he was just like, pardons? Pardon who? No, I don't have any more power. So that's the funny thing is, right? Like they did this on January 6th and it's like, after this, dude, if you weren't able to get it done, that's it. Yeah. Shit's certified. It's a wrap. Like it's over.
And that's the other funny thing about it too is that I think I heard the point made on Pod Save America that it was like for Trump, it was like the wrong amount of insurrection. Like he either wanted no insurrection or more insurrection, like a failed insurrection was like the wrong amount because it just made them all look bad and didn't get the result that they wanted, essentially. Right. So,
I mean, the funny thing is, as I think about it, what did they think was going to happen? Right? Like
they thought that they would either stop the election from being certified, or the Hail Mary move was to be like for them to like freak out Mike Pence, and Mike Pence is like, well, guess I got to make Donald Trump the president by throwing out all these
which
votes.
Is not a power he possesses, right? Yeah. Like this is the problem. Is the big lie is detrimental to democracy anyway, right? Like that part is obvious, but it also is detrimental to how they think because they start telling their constituents, and then more importantly, they start telling their own people like Mike Pence that you have the power to do these things. It's like, but he doesn't have the power to do that.
No, he doesn't have the power. And again, like that's the problem with Trump being the guy parroting this stuff forward, because he's like, oh, you can do this, stating it if it's fact. And of course, because these people believe everything that he fucking says as if Donald Trump is a constitutional scholar overnight or something like that.
As if he's read the Constitution.
Right.
Let's bring the bar down. He's never read it.
And so they're like, well, he's saying it, so it must be true. So like they believe that this thing is absolutely true, even though, like you said, like there's nothing in the Constitution that allowed Mike Pence to do that. It's almost as he said, like it's pretty much like a procedural thing. Right. And even his fucking coward ass tried to go to DOJ and was like, is there any way that this is a thing I can do? And they're just like, no, like it's pretty cut and dry.
Right. So. And so, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, like from the perspective of their lie is now permeated so deeply in their own like group of people that they're mad at Mike Pence for not doing something that he simply cannot do. Right.
Yeah. Well, again, to quote George Costanza, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Exactly. Like but I find that baffling. Like you hear Republicans state now, like these lunatics, they're like, fuck Mike Pence. And I'm like, but he couldn't. He literally like, look, I'm glad none of that shit happened because that would have been a fucking stupid nightmare. But like, he literally could not have done it. Like he couldn't have done it. Like you're mad at him for something that again is made up. It's absolutely made up bullshit. So it's interesting. Which brings us right into the next story. Democrats say that GOP lawmakers who are implicated in January 6th should be expelled. This feels like a no-brainer to me.
It does, but it's not. But it's also not going to happen. I think it's important,
happen, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I think it's important to always temper this story with that reality, because it would take a 2/3 vote in order to expel those members, and you're not getting a single Republican congressperson to actually vote for that in the affirmative.
No,
like there's no way, shape, or form. So like I said, I kind of hate stories like this because like it's kind of like the no shit version of this. Like, yeah, of course they should be expelled because they're fucking terrorists essentially. But it's also not going to happen. So I feel like that coming up with productive solutions is actually the thing to do, because again, you're not going to convince anyone on the other side of the aisle about doing what's right, because these guys, even if they didn't participate in the fomenting of insurrection, have also bought into what's now the party line for the GOP, is that, it was just a peaceful protest. It was fine. Yeah. A couple people died.
A peaceful protest where we beat a cop with a Trump flag. Like,
yeah,
it happens. Standard.
It happens in every peaceful protest.
It does for me. All the ones I've been to. You know how many cops we've beaten to death? It's so easy. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're correct, right? Like that, you're not going to get a 2/3 in either chamber to get these people out of here. However, I do think there is something to be said about having this information going into elections, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because, that's where it's most effective. Is where you
right,
can
because
use it.
Because if you have definitive information, and they need definitive information, none of this like, he said, she said bullshit, but definitive information, and these dumb fucks wrote shit down. So, look, it's not like you can't get it.
Not only did they write it down, but you have cave woman Taylor Greene coming out there like doing interviews being like, two rocks when hit together create. No, that's something she said before. No, she's sitting there saying, did you
guys hear about the Holocaust? Holy shit.
No, not even that. Like, I don't know if you saw, I don't remember what she said verbatim, but essentially she was saying what happened on January 6th was, what did she call it? Like she basically likened it to the American Revolution, which I need to remind her was literally an insurrection. Like as it laid out.
Here's the thing about Republicans, especially dumb ones, right? And I'm talking really dumb ones. Not that I think all Republicans are stupid. I just think these particular people are stupid. They don't know shit about history. They don't know anything. They just say things that hit the buzzwords. Revolutionary War, we fucking kicked the British's ass. Like they don't know. They know about as much about American history as a fifth grader who's like, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Like that's that's the level of knowledge that they have, and that's how deeply they think about these things, right? So yeah, of course she would say that. Like she don't know shit. She don't know shit about anything, dude. She's still screaming on Twitter, AOC debate me, and it's like, why would AOC debate you? She's way smarter than you. Like it would be like me debating a pile of like monkey shit. There's no difference. What am I yelling at that for? It's fucking dumb. It's a waste of time. Or arguing with a literal cave woman. I didn't say it. That's what Google Images said. So yeah, look, I do think politically it does make sense when you're going into like 2022. If you have definitive information, and again, you need definitive information here. If you have that, then you can say, look, not only should you vote for us because of all of our policies are better and we need more Democrats in office to actually get shit done. Not only should you do that, but not only should that happen, but you shouldn't vote for these assholes because here is information that these guys tried to destroy democracy when they got sad, right? Like that is how you beat them over the head. Anybody who runs, if you can find a Democrat to run against Marjorie Taylor Greene, let's say, you beat her over the head with that shit. Hey, asshole, you helped plan this.
Literally.
Like you
I
did.
hope they literally beat her over the head with it.
I mean, that would also
with whatever information that they come up with.
Stop saying stupid things. But like you can politically beat these people over the head with that, right? Lauren Boebert. I don't know if anybody's from like, Rifle who wants to go against her, but like you could win on that. You could beat a Mo Brooks or maybe a Tad Cadworth. You might be able to beat those fucking idiots if you have evidence, right? It's not going to be easy because they're all from like ruby red areas. That's why they're in Congress. But any of them who are even have a minutia of vulnerability, use that against them. And actually also use it against the National Party to do damage to them, right? Like, hey assholes in these, purple districts and purple states, yeah, you didn't vote to expel these people, but here's all this evidence. Why didn't you do it? And like in debates, call it out. Just continue to call it out. You guys are insurrectionists, and if you're not an insurrectionist, you're supportive of it, right? So use that as a weapon against them. Like, look, there are things in politics that are important. Using like political jujitsu is an important lesson to learn, right? Use their fucking power against them. They wanted to come and rush the Capitol. Cool. Now we're going to hang that shit around your neck and beat you to death with it until you lose. Like, that's what you have to do. And take no prisoners, man. Like, look, if you got to send AOC to go and help you shit on some dickbag in Arizona or wherever to win that race, then you do it. Bring the whole fucking team. Like, but you use it to your benefit. Don't just like have the information be like, well, we'll talk to you about that later. No, fuck that. That's a weapon to use against them. And I keep using it, by the way. I'd use it until people got tired of hearing that shit. I would. 2024, I'd bring it up again.
And I think the problem is that, you'll have stories that'll come out and the information will get out in the public discourse, and Democrats will think that that's enough. And it's often not, because the average news viewer is not, paying attention to the level that us or anyone watching or listening to this would do. But yeah, holding a vote to try to expel them would certainly do that. The flip side of that, the damage that you could do, is that there are a lot of voters that are stupid enough to see if a vote like that came up and then it failed, they would just assume that, maybe it wasn't that big of a deal then what happened on January 6th, or their involvement wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
Or as integral. So that's the flip side of it. Like I said, I'm all for wielding the power that your office gives you. I don't think Democrats do enough of it. I think Republicans do it entirely too much and frivolously. Yep. So yeah, absolutely. Like I said, use the levers of power, but just don't expect anything to actually come of it in a tangible sense. Like, there's lots of people that, again, the same fucking idiots that are just, I force the vote. Like they're saying that they should do this so it'll work. I'm like, that's not a realistic outcome. Like, you need to understand that going into the situation. So
right. I mean, look, I said this on Twitter a number of weeks ago. If you're looking for a mark of a real progressive, these are people who want workable solutions, real workable solutions. Hashtag force the vote was not a workable solution. And you can tell, because you can tell the people who were pushing it. Hey, is Jimmy Dore pushing this? Then it's bullshit. Okay? It's just, I'm mad. That's all it is. It's just, I'm mad. Like, look, I get it. I'm mad too. That doesn't fix shit. Doesn't fix anything. Cool, you're mad. All right. Like, you're a grown ass man. Get over it. Like, yeah, you're mad. I want to fix it. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand that type of politics of just
I'm mad at the system, Jay. So let me voice my displeasure by making it more difficult for the party that I'd rather see be successful be able to do anything about it.
That is correct. Like, I don't understand that
That's
type
my
of
grand
politics.
strategy.
Yeah. What? I'm mad, so I'm not going to vote, giving the people I hate more power so that they make my life worse. And then I'll blame the people who are not in power? Okay. Like if you're mad, run the fucking table. Like, that's the thing. If you're mad about what's going on right now in the Senate, and you have every right to be mad, I'm mad too. You got two dickbags who are fucking it up for everybody, right? And you got a couple of other, like, slightly quieter dickbags, right? But for the most part, it's the two major dickbags, Cinema and Manchin. Cool. You're mad about it? Vote. Come out in droves. Like, you can't go, I'm mad, take your ball home, and then let Republicans win. What solution is that? What solution is that? Look, somebody called out.
It's the stay mad solution.
Right.
It's again, when being mad's all you really want, that's a great
easy
solution, because then you can just be perpetually mad.
I'm mad forever. Guess what? Okay, nothing has changed. What? Nothing. Well, it's like this week, some guy, I forget who it was, is like a sitting congressman in the House. He was like
it was Richie Torres.
Yeah, Richie Torres. That's right. And he called out Brianna Greyjoy, or whatever the hell her name is, Joy Gray, and she's like, basically like, why don't you run for office? If it's so fucking easy, come here. Run for office, kick ass, win, right? Everyone in your timeline loves you. I'm sure it'll work out. You get your ass fucking stomped into the ground. By the way, the last two people who have been like uber leftists, who have like run for office, who talked all the shit of how easy it is, got their asses handed to them in races. What's the black woman who lost recently?
Nina Turner
and Cenk Uygur, right? Both are, it's so easy, just get in there and fight. Yeah, then you run. What happened? Huh?
Didn't even win a primary.
No, you ain't even win a primary, dude, in California. Knock it the fuck off. You ain't run a primary in Alabama. You ran it in a blue ass state, and you got your ass kicked. It isn't so fucking easy, let alone once you get into office trying to move that giant slow ship with 100 anchors tethered to the ground in any other direction, right? Like, it's a bit difficult. So this idea, like Richie Torres called her out. It's like, then why don't you run? And I'm like, and a lot of the comments were like, thank you. Like, It's not so fucking easy to you're just like, just fix Medicare and like, or no, what was she complaining? She was saying it's ridiculous that, ending child poverty cutting child poverty in half is temporary. And it's like, one, I love when people with money say that helping poor people for any amount of time is like not valid. I'm like, oh, you're not poor. Like, I was raised poor.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that someone who earns $30,000 a month, whose podcast earns $30,000 a month, you just assume is wealthy. Jay, how elitist of you? What an elitist take.
I'm sorry. My bad. Yeah, I apologize. But like, he called her out, right? And there was people in the comments saying like, yeah, thank you. This is like, it's not easy, right? Because he said, if you get into Congress, you realize you can't just perform magic. And then nothing drives me crazier than people who purposely take what someone says out of context, right? It's either you're dumb or you're purposely taking it out of context, right? When he says it's not magic to make this stuff happen, he's talking about the legislative process. Like, you cannot make people do something they don't want to do. It just doesn't work like that. People are like, oh, so doing your job is magic? That's not what he's saying. And you know that's not what he's saying. Or you're an idiot. You can't be that stupid. You have to understand. You know how I know his point is correct? Nobody on the Rose, Twitter, Uber, fucking far, I'm not going to actually get anything done part of the left. And that's not all of the left, because we're on the left. I'm talking about the nutbags. I'm talking about the Breonna Joy Grace and all those other people who are just there to be mad, right? That's their whole policy stance. None of those people can tell you how to get Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin to vote for Joe Biden's agenda. None of them can tell you. You know why? Because you can't make an adult do something they don't want to do. That's it. It sucks, but you can't.
Clearly you could just replace them with an uber progressive, Jay. That's the goal. That's the move.
Right. Well, why don't we just run someone who's furthest to the left? Okay. One, sure. Two, they're in office right now. How do you fix it right now? Well, Joe Biden used to just use the bully pulpit. Oh, really? Should he just scream at Kristen Sinema? What will that do? Hey, I like your jean jacket. Is that going to fix anything? No, it doesn't fix anything. The point is, that's not how fucking politics works. Politics there are two things, and we've talked about this for years on this show. There's two things. There is reality, and then there's political reality. You may want Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin to vote for voting rights and billionaire taxes and all of this other shit and Build Back Better and all this other stuff. So do we. But the political reality is those two pieces of shit are bought. And when you're bought, there's nothing else you can do. There's nothing else. All you can do is when it's time for elections to come out full bore and get as many real progressives in as humanly possible. That's the fix. I don't have to come up with a fake fix or tell you some bullshit because that's the only real one. But none of these people can tell you how to fix it otherwise. None of them.
Is that you say, people, we how broken this system is that Joe Manchin can single-handedly stop, any legislation he doesn't like from passing, even though he represents, I think I saw like 0.5% of the country in West Virginia. And I'm like, yeah, it is really fucking dumb. But it's the system that we're working within right now. Like, unless you have some brilliant idea that is in the possible reality to change the system, like if you're somehow going to repeal the 17th Amendment so that governors pick senators, then we get 2 Republican senators from West Virginia instead of Joe Manchin,
right?
and an Uber
great,
right, or unless somehow senators are going to be again like there's not a tangible solution that has a real possibility of coming to fruition that you can suggest. So you have to work within the confines of the system that you're in. And again, like you said, the only solution is to get as many Democrats in the Senate as possible so that Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema's opinions don't matter because you don't need their votes. So they then have to come to you to get stuff that they want, but they're not going to be able to stop the progress from happening.
Right. Like, I don't understand like this idea that it's so hard to understand this. Like, the system is fucked up, bro. The system is fucked up, bro. Yeah, it's fucked up. But there's nothing you can do about it at the moment. You know when you can change the system? When it's time to vote, which you fucking assholes don't do. You go, well, we never get any progressives, so I'm not going to vote. And then you complain that nothing progressive ever happens because you don't vote progressives in. Got it. Cool. Hey,
Jay,
spoiler alert.
It's almost as if
they didn't even come out for fucking Bernie. They didn't even come out for Bernie, but yet they're mad at what Joe Biden is doing. You didn't come out for him. What the fuck?
It's almost as if, and pardon
ridiculous.
the pun, it's almost as if they're approaching this conversation from a position of bad faith.
We should have called this podcast Also Bad Faith, or like the bad faith factor. Like it's such bullshit. It's such bullshit. And I would love to have a real conversation with her or anybody like her and say, like, okay, like bullshit aside, look, we all probably have the same ultimate goals. We probably do. I mean, I also would love to make $30,000 a month on a podcast. That sounds awesome. That's the real goal. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. It's time to make money. That's what they want. Knock it off. Right? Like they judge these billionaires, but like you just be happy to be a millionaire. Like, okay. Okay, knock it the fuck off. So I would love to talk to him. Like, look, we all have the ultimate same goal, right? You want Medicare for all. We want, poor people to have the fair shake, right? We would love it to be, to eliminate poverty altogether, obviously. We'd love to do all of those things. It's 2021. It is October 27th as the day that we're recording this. How do you get Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema to get on board to get these things done? Let's say that you have every other Democrat on board with your agenda, everything that you want, right? Not even Joe Biden's agenda, everything that you want. And there's those
which
two.
You don't.
Which you don't. But let's say that you did. Just in this lovely utopian scenario. You have 48 Democrats who are like, we're all on board. You got Kamala Harris is on board. Kamala Harris is on board. Joe Biden is on board. All you need is those last two, baby. That's it. She'll come in. She'll do the tiebreaker. Boom. We're getting it all done. Give me the exact detail of how you get two grown adults to do what you want them to do. You gonna pay them off?
Those not watching the video version can't see that I'm just rubbing my fingers together because outside of that,
there ain't nothing you got on them.
That's about all you got.
That's it. I remember the story. People were like, oh, Joe Manchin's daughter is like some sort of like corrupt person or whatever running his oil business.
She's not a corrupt person. She just has a high ranking position at companies that run against progressive interests, essentially. Like it's not like she's a fucking
she's not a Koch brother or anything, right?
Yeah, no,
right?
But it's just she's in a powerful position in an industry that her dad is favorable to.
Right. So people are like, well, why don't they just have the DOJ? Why don't they just threaten to have the DOJ look into her stuff? Okay, so let's say that you do that, right? Let's say you do that. Hey, Joe Biden brings Joe Manchin. Get your ass in here, Manchin, you son of a bitch. He sits him down. And he's like, maybe we have the DOJ looking at your daughter, huh? Maybe is that what you want? Or you get on board for our agenda? You know what? In the fantasy world that these people live in, Joe Manchin goes, oh, okay, oh God, I don't want any of that. And then he runs back and he supports Build Back Better and all their other legislation. But here's what happens in reality. Joe Manchin goes, oh, word? Cool. How about I go out to the press and tell them that you just threatened me with the Justice Department, throw your ass into a fucking impeachment, or I don't even do that. I just now become an even bigger asshole and say I'm not going to do any of the shit that I would probably agree with you on 50% of it.
Right.
How you like that?
And call your bluff. And
call
see if you actually want to see if you actually want to go that route. And again, like forgetting the fact that we just went through 4 years of a guy who did reach out and try to, influence the direction his DOJ took.
Right. But this is what you want. You want him to be Trump, though. But then you say,
but they do.
Trump and Biden are the same. You're trying to make them the same. They're not the same. You're trying to make them the same. And look, Joe Biden ain't perfect.
What they want. I firmly believe that if Bernie had somehow won the presidency, Now, would Bernie be more aggressive with EOs than Joe Biden has been? Probably. Like
100%.
that's definitely a fact.
100%.
But he wouldn't have been aggressive to the point where he would have been signing executive orders that were unrealistic, like that were not going to sustain a judicial challenge, right? And so they would have turned on him anyway. They've been like, "You've got this power. Why aren't you using it?" And I'm just like, he's not a king. Like, do you have a
right? They don't know how government works. They don't know how government works. They have no idea. They have no idea. Yeah. Well, why don't you just get it done? Oh, I don't know. Like, it's really weird. I wonder why Democrats never just hit the button for make everything better right before an election. Is it that they don't want to, or is that they can't? Because that's not how the system fucking works. It's not a monarchy. But you're right. They wish he was a king. Like, it's ridiculous. And look, you can absolutely guarantee if Bernie Sanders ever became president, they would tear his ass a new one by day 10. Yeah. By day 10, they'd be like, yo, this is taking way too long. Like, you are a failure. You're not really a progressive. Like, they'd light into him. Yeah, of course. Because it's not their goal. Their goals are not real. They're just another part. I would say morally a better part, but it's the other side of the coin of the big lie, right? Their big lie is that you can just do anything once you're president. Like, that's not true. Well, Republicans do that. Those are called breaking the law. Like, you can't. Yeah. That's not. It's not how the system works. And the system, like our judicial system and everything else, will allow for Republicans to do shit like that. It will never allow Democrats to do that. You think the Supreme Court? You think the Supreme Court is going to be like, no, it's fine. No, they're conservative.
Jay, Bernie would have expanded the Supreme Court to 21
35.
No,
the fuck he wouldn't, dude. No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. He threatened it. I guarantee you, he would threaten it, but I doubt he'd do it. I doubt he would, because Bernie is also a person who believes in the system too. He's not a person that believes in destroying it.
Well, and he's someone
that's
who
why he's a
believes
fucking
in the system
senator,
because he understands that you can't make change that lasts without working through the system. Like that's the thing that everyone also forgets, is that executive orders are easily rescinded by the next guy. So like, you can do crazy shit for 4 years, assuming it survives the Supreme Court, which a lot of it wouldn't. If a Republican comes in right after that, they just hit the undo button. They just hit fucking Control Z and take everything back to the way it was 4 years ago. Like, it's not. I understand what people don't. I don't understand what hyper progressives don't understand about that.
Yeah, I've
learn how your government works. Just learn how your government works. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do.
Fuck that. Get out of here. No. Read. Fuck you, Brad. Get out of here. I'm not doing that. I'm not learning shit. No, I'd rather complain. Speaking of stupid, Mitt Romney was on television, and not that I think Mitt Romney is stupid. I just think that the following statement he made about
Mitt Romney is not a stupid man, but he says a lot of stupid things because he hasn't understood what it's like to be not upper class literally his entire life.
Yeah, like what? Like this is a wild quote. So they're talking about the idea of taxing billionaires, right? Because all of a sudden everyone in Congress has said, "Hey, so Kristen Sinema is holding up us taxing millionaires. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just go to billionaires. Like, we'll stop all this fucking around. Let's get to the game, right?" I would just like to point out that she could have been president, guys. Like, you don't have to just take her policies. You could have just voted for her. She could have been president. And she would have been leading the charge and kicking these people in their teeth every fucking day of her presidency, which I was here for. Come on, we had the gif of Elizabeth Warren rubbing her hands, ready to tax the shit out of rich people. It was awesome. You could have had her.
2 cents on every dollar, Jay. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes, baby. Come on, man. That was such a great way to push that. Because people are like, yeah, 2 cents. What's the big deal? Like, even I could afford that. Surely Mark Zuckerberg could. And then you look at the money, you're like, ooh, that was a lot of money. God damn. Good. Good. Fuck them. So when asked about, taxing billionaires, Mitt Romney, who is a definite millionaire, multimillionaire, He says, quote, these multi-billionaires are going to look and say, quote, I don't want to invest in the stock market because as that goes up, I got to get taxed. So maybe I'll instead invest in a ranch or in paintings or things that don't build jobs and create a stronger economy. Basically, one, no, they won't. Two, do you catch the the big horseshit of the statement?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to take their money out of the stock market and then they're going to use that to buy up a ranch or paintings. See, this is one of those things that I love when rich people talk as if poor people can't read shit, right? And they know that a lot of people don't understand the investments and stuff like that. But I'm here to tell you that we fucking do. When you sell stock is when you get taxed. The reason that the rich love the stock market is because they can buy and sell stock as long as they don't, or like buy and sell stock with their accounts, as long as they don't pull money out of that account, they don't get taxed on it. And that's what they do. That's how they move money and keep money around. That's why they want tons and tons of stocks, because that money just sits. It just accrues until you fully pull it out of the stock market. You don't get taxed for it. So him saying, "Oh, as the stock market, because as that goes up, they get taxed." That's a nonsensical statement. That doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah. And then to say, "Well, they'll buy a ranch or paintings," well, they would be taking money out of the stock market, so then they would be paying taxes on that, and they'd be paying taxes on that ranch. Now, paintings, he's 100% right? Like art. Like the art world is a fucking boondoggle because rich people hide their money in that shit. Like that is absolutely
Jay, true. Have you heard of this new cool fad called NFTs? It's like paintings, but on the internet. All the rich people are going to be going for it. Yep. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Mitt Romney, don't threaten me with a good time. Rich people are going to pull their money out of the stock market? Oh, no. I love this myth that Republicans continue to feed their voters that somehow the stock market equates to the economy. It does not. It never has. It never fucking will. The stock market is a fucking craps table for people that have more money than they need, essentially. Yeah. That's all it is. That's all it is. It is a high risk, high yield bank, for lack of a better term, for rich people. That's all it is. That's absolutely all it is. It does nothing to help build the economy. It does nothing to help build jobs. Because when companies do well in the stock market, like when companies' value appreciates through stocks, do they hire more workers? No. They fucking pay out their shareholders. They pay out dividends. That's right. They buy back stock. They give out maybe bonuses, but they certainly don't fucking hire people. They certainly don't fucking raise salaries. How many people made killings in the stock market over the pandemic? Did that automatically lead to salaries being raised? No. You know what got wages up? When people said, I'm not fucking working for minimum wage anymore.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
When the labor became a shortage in the market, people were like, oh shit, I guess we got to pay more for labor if we want people to come fucking work. All of a sudden you're paying $15 an hour. Holy shit, I can get people to come work for me. Amazing. It's amazing how that works. Crazy. Yep. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah, look.
And then what happens? The stocks go up because the company is more stable, and therefore they become more people buy stock in it, and round we go. Who gives a shit if rich people pull their fucking money out of the stock market? They're gonna have to pull it out of Cancun first anyway to fucking do anything with it.
I mean, right? You're gonna have to go. Down.
Sorry, the Caymans. Sorry, not Cancun. Cancun's a resort town. The Cayman Islands is where they keep all that money.
Like that or Swiss bank accounts. I mean, like wherever, right? Look, this is like textbook Mitt Romney bullshit. It's also textbook rich people bullshit that, like you convince, like you were saying, like convincing these poor people like, oh, they're going to crash the economy. No, they're not. Oh, they're going to leave the country? Leave. I fucking dare you. Where are you going to go? Huh? You keep your money in Azerbaijan? Get the fuck out of here. No, you're not. You're not. If you were going to leave, you'd leave now. You would have left years ago, decades ago.
So you're gonna move your business to the UAE, fucking Qatar? Like, get out of here.
They'll come and seize that money in a fucking afternoon.
That is the thing that no one ever fucking talks about. Like, people are like, oh shit, they're gonna move this stuff to Europe. Will they get taxed 40% on their way on their income? Like, that's where they're gonna go? Where they're gonna pay like quadruple what they're paying now?
Right. If there was a better place for them to keep all of their money, they would have already moved it. They would have already moved it. Like, if they thought that it was actually legitimately a good idea to move their money to, I don't know, Russia or whatever, they would have done it. What's stopping them? Nothing is stopping them. Like, if that was a fiduciarily positive thing for them, they'd have done it. They don't need controversy to do it. They'd just be like, yeah, I'm out. Fuck, is it a Wednesday? I'm gone. Right? But they don't do it.
Yeah.
And what that tells you is they don't move to those markets because they're not stable or because the taxes are higher. We have one of the lowest corporate taxes. I think it's the lowest corporate tax of, quote unquote, first world countries. I don't really like to use that term, but sort of, of these major big companies or countries, we have the lowest corporate tax. They don't leave because it's financially good for them to stay here.
This doesn't get talked about. Like we've talked a lot about like moving the Overton window with like Medicare for all and stuff like that. We don't talk about how Republicans have moved it over the last couple of years. People don't remember, but 9 years ago, when Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan were running for president, they proposed that the corporate tax rate in the United States should be 25%, because that would have been about a 10% cut from where it was when they were running. Kyrsten Sinema, Democrat, is arguing now that the corporate tax rate shouldn't be above 21%. We've somehow moved.
Holy shit!
We've somehow moved the Overton window from the Republican position was too progressive on corporate tax to now the Democratic position, or at least the position of one Democrat, is that we should keep it at a 4% lower rate than the Republican presidential nominee proposed keeping it at only 9 years ago. Because as we've seen with anything like this, you give Republicans an inch and they're going to take a mile. So you let them scale it back to fucking 15%. They're just going to go out and be like,
they want it at zero, yo. They want it at zero.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay. Look, some of these corporations are already paying zero. Amazon doesn't pay anything.
Yeah.
You think Tesla pays anything? No. Tesla just hit $1 trillion. $1 trillion company now. This week. $1 trillion company.
My other favorite tweet around this was Elon Musk, where some person was like railing about like, we're just gonna come from billionaires, like and the money tap, and Elon Musk is like, that's right. When once they go get the money from us and the money runs out, like they're gonna come to you next. I'm like, Elon Musk, you just described taxes. Like the rest of us pay them. Like I
saw. So it was like, dude, like we already pay taxes, bro. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, like we're already giving our money.
He's like,
where do you think all this shit's coming from?
I'm not sure that they know poor people pay taxes, right? Like they're just like, I don't know who pays it.
I don't think they do, or I just think they
don't think about it.
Don't.
Yeah, they don't think about it.
Because for them, even if they pay in the millions of dollars of taxes, which on a personal income tax level they do, like corporate tax is a different thing, but on a personal income tax level they do pay millions of dollars in taxes. But to them, that's a rounding error. Like they have so much money that it's not like it's an insignificant amount of money.
Right, it's nothing for them. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. This is the second dumbest quote that Mitt Romney has ever done. Right?
We know what the first is.
Come on, man. Keep it together. This is very serious. The first quote, the number one dumbest quote Mitt Romney has ever said, and I quote, my favorite meat is hot dog, by the way. This is my favorite meat. My second favorite meat is hamburger. And everyone says, oh, don't you prefer steak? It's like, I know steaks are great, but I like hot dog best, and I like hamburger next best. I like hamburger next best. What?
Do you know why that quote is so funny? Because
he sounds like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Like it was going through the fucking Mitt Romney everyman calculator when he said that quote. He's like, if I say that I love steak, all they're gonna do is use that to paint me as an elitist, which they're doing like crazy. What's the fucking poorest meat that I can possibly think of? Hot dog meat. That's the move.
What do poor people eat? What is that tubular meat that the poors eat? Yes, accessing. Ding, hot dog meat. So I like hot dog. I like hamburger. Next best is one of the fucking funniest sentences I've ever heard. So you sound like a caveman.
God.
He sounds like a fucking caveman. It's just insane.
That like I said, that's how you know he was thinking really hard when he was saying it. He sounded like an idiot.
Yeah, like, cause you don't talk like that. I like hamburger. Next best. Next best meat. So good. Messed you up. Yeah, no, he's an interesting fella.
I like I said, to put a bow on this, it just blows my mind that Republican voters are just able to suck at the teat of the most insane thing that the mentality of won't somebody think of the poor billionaires is like a driving force within the Republican voting bloc. Amazing. It's insane because they too might be a billionaire, Jay. You never know.
One day when you're rich, or to quote Marco Rubio, I believe we are a country of rich and soon to be rich. What? What are you talking about?
Well, you see, Jay, there was a documentary that was on TV back in the 1960s about a good old boy who struck oil in the fields and moved out to Beverly Hills.
Was it bubbling crude?
Pretty happy.
Was it bubbling crude?
Yeah. Texas tea. He was pretty happy that that we didn't have all these corporate taxes for all these guys. God.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think they've been watching way too much Nick at Night. Like they're just like, no, this is how everyone makes it. Like, no,
that's right. Find an oil field and have attractive cousins that you can want to ogle and have sex with, and that's the real American dream right there.
Yeah, that was a part of that story, wasn't it? That's not okay. Next up, opponents of critical race theory, white people, seek to flip school boards all around the country.
I thought we officially changed this to critical racist theory as they talk about it. So.
I think when they have people learn about the Holocaust and the opposite sides of the Holocaust, that's critical racist theory. Like that's what that is. This is just white people acting fucking stupid, or conservative whites, in fairness. So this story is ABC went to Guilford, Connecticut to talk to some nutbags up there, and they're like, look, we need to get rid of the superintendent of schools because he's helping to indoctrinate our children, and teach them about things like maybe we shouldn't just put black people in prison all the time just for existing, crazy shit. So we gotta get rid of it. We gotta get rid of that guy. But they see it as this opportunity to basically take over the school boards all across the country, and a bunch of conservative groups are pushing people to do this, like run for your local school board. Look, from a political perspective, not basing on right or wrong, and I'll talk about obviously my views on it. This is genius from a Republican's perspective. This is brilliant. This is how you get your fucking base fired the hell up, right? Of course they're fired up over a fake controversy because of course that's the Republican Party. But it's a way to get your base fired up. It's sexy sounding. Critical race theory. Oh my God, they're corrupting white children everywhere, right? It sounds sexy, and you can really do damage, right? Like, I know that there's been a long adage that Republicans want to fuck up the education system so they can have dumber voters who will vote for them, and that's been an adage for a long time, but it's true. Like the least educated their constituents are, the easier they're led by their noses, right? We see that with Trump world, where these people just believe fucking anything because they're not educated on the political system, let alone educated on noticing a charlatan is about. Like they don't get it. So
the way you casually just drop that phrase in there is fucking hilarious.
Right, like it's just he's like
a grifter is afoot. Scatter children.
There's a werewolf in the town, right? So they don't, it's kind of true, and they do want that. I don't know if they are like that is like front of mind. Like, we need to do this to fuck up the education system so we can have dumber voters. And, like, I don't think it's front of mind like that. But I think it does behoove them to have people who challenge less, right? Like, for all of the, like, Democrats or sheeple type of shit, Democrats are hard as fuck to wrangle, dude, when it comes to politics. We are really hard to wrangle because it's like, well, you guys don't believe in climate change enough. Well, you guys don't believe in Medicare enough. Like, we have these big fights in our party because we are very independently minded, and that's not all Democrats. I'm not trying to say that, because there are plenty of fucking people who just go along with the blue team. But Republicans get in lockstep the second somebody is like, I'm the boss. They love that shit. Like that's what they're into. That's why they advocate for Trump being a dictator. They don't give a shit. They just want a daddy in office.
I mean, again, how many times on this program, and we haven't said this in a while, but it's true. How many times have we said Republicans just want a daddy? That's all they want. They just want a daddy. So
yeah, it's absolutely true. So there's an interesting couple of quotes here in the article. It says they're talking about candidates for this local school board, right? Members of the local school board. It says one of the 5 candidates on the slate opposed to critical race theory, Danielle Scarpellano, a local business owner, said in an appearance on Fox and Friends first, quote, that she thinks that students are being used as political pawns, right? Another candidate, Tim Chamberlain, said on the campaign website that his children's teachers have, quote, tried to persuade him to abandon his conservative viewpoint. I guarantee you that's, hey, this thing happened in reality, and you've been taught that it didn't, right? Like, actually, Columbus was a rapist, and they're like, those are conservative values. How dare you? Don't tell my kid shit. I guarantee you it's something like that. Like, it's something like, yeah, they're trying to get you to change on like believing something that's simply not true. These people are fucking dangerous. And this obviously, I think this is wrong. I would not want these nutcases to take over my kid's school district or any other people's school district, because I think these people are lunatics. But what I would say is, Democrats, pay attention. This is what you should be doing, right? Mm-hmm. We believe in education. We believe in fairness. At least we're supposed to. We're supposed to believe in fairness and education and the rights of children and protecting children and making them smarter, better humans for life and for the world and being better world citizens. If you're going to run for office, this is a good place to start. This is a really good place to start. Because I
don't even necessarily think that Democrats have to run for these positions, though. Like, you just have to.
They generally control.
Throw your support, right? You just have to generally throw your support behind the person that's probably already there in most cases,
right? And that's fine. But what I'm saying is, when those positions are open, if you want to make a political strides and you really want to help, like this is a ground up thing, school boards are a big one, right? Especially if you're in a purple state, right? Like, we live in a blue state, so. Like, they're not doing anything too crazy with the schools, like out of step for like what we would agree with. It'd be more
at
like,
least not in not in the city and county that we live in. At least I'm sure if you go further,
not where we
east
live.
and west, probably
disaster. I don't think they should have masks. Like, all right, that's cool. Good luck with that. You don't like. You don't want teachers to live? That's cool. Fine. Good luck.
Or your kids.
Or your kids.
But
right? Like, sure. Do you, buddy. Do you. But so I think this is a good place to start. And I think you can make good inroads and you can make real change. Again, especially if you're in a red state or a purple state. As a Democrat,
I literally struggle to think of a group of people, not just politicians, but just in general, like Republicans in general, from their politicians to their voters. I've never seen people project as much as they do, because these are the same folks who will bang the drum for free speech and will bang the drum like I think we should just let all opinions be heard. This, that, or the other thing. But then on the same token, they're trying to ban certain books from public schools. They don't want to hear about opposing viewpoints on an issue that they think they have the bulletproof correct story on. Like the dude that you said was like, oh, this teacher's trying to change my views. Like, they were talking about stuff like global warming. They were talking about stuff like affirmative action.
Guaranteed. The earth is already warming. We don't need to talk about it. I guarantee it. That's not a conservative perspective, by the way. Like, global warming doesn't exist. That's not a conservative perspective. That's an anti-science perspective. You can be a conservative and be like, yeah, global warming exists. What the fuck? Like come on. But it's become a conservative thing because it's just anti-democrat. That's all it is.
They're so firmly rooted in that they believe it's right. They can't even bother to hear an opposing view.
Oh,
which and again, no. I don't think that you should have to entertain opposing views that are ridiculous.
No, you
but
shouldn't.
I'm also not the person that advocates for all voices to be heard. Essentially, like, with global warming, like, if you're part of the 2% that don't believe it exists, then I don't need to hear from you because you're an idiot. Like you're literally bucking the consensus of pretty much all of science in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So.
All right. There you go.
Well, this also piggybacks, like, the other big news is, like, Glenn Youngkin, who's running for governor of Virginia, like, ran the ad with the mom who was like, my son read this book by Toni Morrison when he was in high school and it gave him nightmares, and I tried to get the school to ban it and Terry McAuliffe wouldn't let me do it. And it was just like, look, yeah, this book's on AP, like, tests everywhere. Like,
what was the book?
Like, it was Beloved. Or Beloved by Toni Morrison. Because it had, like, bestiality in it. So he's like, oh, this is, I wasn't expecting to get this kind of content as a senior in high school. The kid's a conservative lawyer now. I'm sure that has nothing to do with why his mom is appearing in a campaign ad for a Republican gubernatorial candidate. Just throwing that out there. And plus, I guess...
Whoa. It gave her son nightmares? How old was he?
He was a senior in high school, Jay. This was back in 2012. He's 26 now. He's 26 now.
Hey, sweetheart. I hate to be a dick. I really do. Hold on. Timing. Oh, we're after the hour mark. Look, let me tell you something. Your son's a senior in high school, or at the time he was. Guess what? He was watching way worse shit on the internet, baby. Get the fuck out of here. He wasn't having no nightmares. He's jerking off to that shit. Knock it off. Knock it off.
By the way, you will appreciate this. So in response to this ad being run,
did Terry McAuliffe just do an ad of him laughing?
Oh, sure. No. This is even better. This is a level of petty, Jay, that you would ascribe to in this situation. At the following events that Terry McAuliffe had after this ad was running, he was giving out copies of Beloved to people at the event with like a fucking campaign flyer on it that said like Glenn Youngkin is trying to ban books from our schools and like some fucking Nazi looking like some fucking like not even Nazi, like more like the fake political party from V for Vendetta. Like it had that kind of motif going on basically. It's very
nice.
Okay, that's the end of the free portion for this week's episode of Look Forward. Make sure you go to lookforwardshow.com/premium. Sign up for premium content. It's only $5 a month or $50 for the full year.